Hello.
Hello, Charlie.
How are you this evening?
Fantastic. It's Friday. How are you?
I'm also well, thank you. Well, hi, I'm Charlie Collins with Blindsided. This is the Blind Sighted podcast, and Brenda's with me, Brenda, and Brenda from all the way from her home, and I'm in my home. It's amazing technology these days what we can do.
Sure is. My name is Brenda, and I'm from timefor10.com. It's great to be here.
Yeah. And I know I've been told, tell people who you are. I'm like, oh well, that's true. I forget. Not everybody doesn't know me. Um, Charlie Collins. I'm a best-selling author. I am a keynote speaker. I do some coaching, and I'm also the co-founder of Thriving Blind Academy, and it's a place where people, blind, visually impaired, and families, parents, and all can come into a platform to get the tools and strategies and mindset to live their best low vision blind life ever. So that's
Wow.
exciting. But
It
here
is
we are
exciting.
going through different principles and different things each week to help mindies and better adapt, adopt, and live life. And Brenda, I'm not going to review all of it. And anybody that wants to see where we started this journey, this is episode number 4. That's so exciting. But episode 3, I'll just come off of, and it was about what program are you running from? Another way to say, what pre-recorded tape? What are you bringing in from the previous day or 30 years ago that you still haven't reconciled? And what are you bringing into each new day as a program? Because, why do they call TV programming that? Because it actually programs us. So, especially TV commercials. So, we, no fault of our own, over time, whether it's our upbringing or school systems or whatever the case may be, we kind of adapt programming. And by age 35, actually, human beings are almost 90+% running from a program each day.
Charlie, remind everybody again how many thoughts we have in a day and how many of those thoughts are from the past. Because I was
We have
fascinated by that.
50 to 70,000 a day. And again, somebody said, "How do you know?" I said, "I don't." But they do hook things. They can actually see. They can tell when it releases dopamine and different things in the body. Where it. I mean, it's so amazing. But they can actually measure how many thoughts we have a day. And unfortunately, I mean, I've heard 80 to 90% of them are recycled.
Right.
Are coming
Conditioned
in.
thinking.
Yeah,
Conditioned
and
thinking.
conditioned thinking, right? And Brenda, a lot of it is I'm addicted to just running that program. It's like because it still releases endorphins. It still does that little jolt of our body, but it doesn't serve us.
No, no. Stopped serving us a long time ago. But we're so used to going there and we're so comfortable in that which is familiar that we just continue to go there. It's home.
Yeah,
It's
it's
home.
the known, our knowingness, the known, our familiar or comfort zones are safe. So we kind of tend to recycle that every day. And what does that do? That keeps us where we are. It
Right.
doesn't allow us to grow mentally,
Right.
spiritually, physically, financially, career, relationally. I don't know if that's a word.
It is tonight. You're
Yeah.
right. And it doesn't allow us to move past the things that are blocking us from what we actually want, from what we
Right.
really want, authentically want.
And
Mm-mm-mm.
just in case any of my people, the visually impaired ones, I have a green sweater on tonight for St. Patrick's Day. All right, so now we're going to jump down to the slides and that I prepared, and I am so just be prepared that these are a little direct. um, I remember the first time I sat with somebody and they brought me through this. I was like a little irritated, like what the heck? That's very, can we go a little softer? Well, to get to the crux, to, you'll see. And Brenda is going to, since I'm legally blind and I cannot really read anything or see the screen too well. Poor me. I know, I know, I know. I asked Brenda for help, and Brenda is going to read the slide, and then we are going to Brenda is going to go through the process first. Means that she's going to be uh, answering the questions, and then she's going to do that to me. So here we go down to the slides. Hopefully, if the button works.
Here we go.
Whee! All right. So this is just you probably saw this thumbnail on our platform and the many platforms that I'm streaming on right now. So Brenda, what I want you to do after I ask you a question is just take a breath and don't try to find the answer. Just speak it because your body knows it. And don't try to answer the right way. Answer the you know what I mean. There is no right answer. That's the thing. So Brenda, what is a difficult or troubling situation in your life now?
Hmm. You know, the very first thing that comes to mind for me is I'm overcommitted. And I'm not only just overcommitted, but in the commitments that I do have, that being work and school and clients and time for a 10, is, you know, I strive for perfection. You know, I have to get an A in school and I have to get everything right at work and I have to be the perfect coach. And because I'm striving for perfection all the time, I don't have any spare time to just breathe during the week. I can catch up on the weekend, but during the week, I'm flat out. And that's not healthy for me.
So, I mean, of course, I heard have to, but you're choosing to. Nobody's got, a wrist rocket to your head saying you have to. So we build this, and there's a bit of a bar that you have raised in your life now. And you mentioned school. I mean, didn't you go a few years back? What do you mean school?
Yeah, so very synchronistically, I ended up in graduate school at the Spirituality Mind and Body Institute at Columbia University. And I haven't been, you know, to go to a school like that and be taught by the kind of people that are teaching me that are just experts in their field. You know, I want to do really well. You know what it really is, Charlie? It's a less than thing. It's a worthiness thing. I want to make sure everybody knows I'm as good as everybody else. It's old programming. It's old programming.
That you have brought into your healthier life, but you put a lot on your plate and you're finding that you're overextended.
Absolutely. And you know what that does? Or I should probably wait.
Yeah,
I'll wait
we're
to
gonna
answer
get
that
to
question.
that stuff, but I want
Yeah.
to say one quick thing before I want to say one quick thing uh, before we leave this slide is that you said the word committed. So what that means is that those things, there's no excuse. You're doing them all because you're not interested in going to school, working on time for a 10. You're not interested in helping others and doing those things. You're committed. See the difference? Like, on Facebook, they have going interested. If anyone checks interested, they're not showing up. I'm interested in I'm interested in learning the piano, but it ain't happening because I'm not committed. But see, you're committed. And because that commitment, you can't say no to, and you like, oh, I have 8 more minutes this day. Let me take another course.
Or let me do another video, or let me
Yeah.
study a little more, or let me start my paper that's not due for a month.
And what it is it is a difficult and troubling situation in your
It
life. All
is.
right. So will you read that?
How are you creating it or allowing it to happen?
Brenda, how are you creating it or allowing it to happen?
Hmm. You know, I have to say, Charlie, that setting expectations for myself to be perfect in everything that I'm trying to do is really grasping for something on the outside to be okay on the inside, right? So what I'm doing is I'm setting these expectations, believing that if I get an A, that will make me happy. If I can do 10 clients a week, that will make me happy. If I can, take all those phone calls and do a great job at work, that will make me happy. So I'm creating the pressure on myself to do all these things in a particular way because I'm seeking validation from the outside instead of going inward where it already exists. That's what I'm doing. And that's very old programming, very old programming.
And because you're seeing it and you're aware of it, you can actually, as we'll move through these, but we don't notice unless we question this and go in and look and like, wait a minute, I'm the one who signed up for these classes. I'm the one who started the website. I'm the one who did all this. I don't have to do any of it. I chose to do it all because it's the direction of my life. But it's now you're starting to peel back. Oh, wait, but I'm doing it for, yes, I want to build a business, but it has to be the best one. And
Right.
it's not like anybody's even looking at it that way. It's because what will they think of me, whoever they are?
Yeah, whoever they are. There's nobody, actually.
Well,
And this is what you're talking about, is that's all happening from the neck up. It's got nothing to do with the truth.
right. All right, let's go. Ready?
Yes. What are you pretending not to know?
Brenda, what are you pretending not to know?
What I'm pretending not to know, two things I'm pretending not to know. This one I don't even have to think about, that the outcome doesn't matter. The outcome doesn't say anything about me. If I fail at something, I get to learn. How many, when I'm working with people, I say, how many kids touch the hot stove? They're like, everyone. Like, why? Why do all the kids touch the hot stove? Because that's how we learn. We learn through our own experience. Failure is one of the greatest teachers I've ever had. And the other thing that I'm pretending not to know, and this is the one I don't want to talk about, this is the one that's in the closet. I don't want to open the door and let it out, is my ego is at play here. It's all coming from a place of ego. And I love the phrase, ego means edging God out. That's what it is. It's ego.
So if you remove that spiritual power, that higher power out, what does that leave you?
Oh man, in big trouble. It leaves me in big trouble because then you're in the I'll be happy when club. I'll be happy if this happens. And then I'm back to seeking, things from the outside to make me happy on the inside. And that's a hole that just doesn't ever get filled. It doesn't ever get filled. I lived that way for a really long time.
And I know you've, I don't need to ask you because I know you, but you've failed in your life, haven't you?
Oh, big time.
Well, we don't have to go down that path, but you've gone in a direction, believed in it, worked your tail off, and it didn't work out.
Yes.
And so you didn't die. And did you get worse from that or better?
Oh, so much better. So much better. So much better.
All right. Excellent. Let's go.
What is the payoff for keeping it like it is?
So let's hear the payoff.
Well, we talked about it in the beginning, Charlie. So, I'm doing these things, this programmed behavior, this conditioned thinking, which is like a warm, fuzzy blanket because I know it and I'm used to it. When I was a kid, the way that I got my parents' love, the way that I received that love was by achieving good report cards. I was an athlete. I was well in school. I followed in my father's path with regard to career, all of these things, outside stuff, right? To feel safe inside. So that's what I was taught to do. So I'm very comfortable in this place, so I think, because it's familiar and it gives me a false sense of control because it's predictable. I know how to do this, right? And you mentioned failing. I had a .com company some years ago. It was a software engineering firm, and it was doing great. And I had a life beyond my wildest dreams. And you know what I couldn't handle? Having a life beyond my wildest dreams. I had a
The work of
worthiness
your
issue.
dream.
And so this conditioned programming, because I'm so comfortable in navigating that kind of, the up and down and good, and, I'm going to be great, and then I'm going to waver, I'm going to be great and waver. When things were going great, I didn't know how to navigate that. That was unpredictable to me. That was uncomfortable for me. So, does that answer the question?
If you think it does,
Yeah.
I think it does.
Control is the payoff in short terms. Yeah. What is the cost for not changing it?
Brenda, what is the cost for not changing it? Otherwise, keep going the way you're going. What is the cost?
Freedom, serenity, happiness. It's, the first thing that came to my mind is it's like playing the piano in handcuffs. You just can't play that way. You can't succeed that way. You can't express that way. It's limiting. That's the cost.
Okay. Is there ever a cost of the blamer comes out, the complainer, or you're short at times, or you're not eating right, you don't have time to do this, are you dropping the ball in other areas you wish you weren't?
Absolutely. It's all going to come out in my behaviors. And my behaviors are going to be, I'm going to be short, I'm going to be judgmental, I'm going to blame. Oh, I can't believe I have to go to work today instead of I get to go to work today. My bills are paid. It affects all of those things. And then I'm not spending time with friends because I would rather be, getting an A+ instead of an A. I've done that. An A is not enough. And that's the other thing that it costs you. It's never enough. It's never enough. I skipped school on Monday. I didn't go. I know your jaw just dropped. I had something going on at work, and I said, I'm going to fix the work problem, and I'm not going to, spend a half a day. It's not going to be a 15-hour day for me. I'm not going to do it all. I took a step back and said, no, I'm going to do some self-care instead and not try and do all of this in one day.
How did that feel?
Freaking phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
Did you bring out the hammer at all that night or in the morning? Next morning?
I did not.
It sat well with you.
The world kept spinning.
Yeah.
And Charlie, nobody cared. Nobody cared. No. I'm a legend in my own mind. Nobody cared.
All right. Now,
what would you rather be experiencing?
Brenda, what would you rather be experiencing during the week?
I would rather be experiencing myself, my true self, not this conditioned programming, excuse me. I'd rather be experiencing, getting comfortable with relaxing, not looking to the outside to tell me I'm okay. I don't have to get an A to be okay. I don't have to be Superwoman to be okay. I am okay.
Okay. I'm just letting that sink in. And all right, so let's go to the next one.
What actions will you take and what requests will you make to achieve it?
And I just the requests are, do you need to ask somebody to walk the dog or water the plants, or do you need to ask somebody to take notes in the classroom or email them to you because you're going to take the night off, or, what are you going to do? What actions do you think after sharing this tonight, what do you want to do to help course correct or give you a little more time to rejuvenate?
So, I started it because I had this experience this week. So I started it, for example, I used to, like a year ago, I used to walk during lunch when it was nice out. And I did that this week. I went out for a walk twice during lunchtime, and that felt really good. So I'm going to ask myself when I'm saying, I'm going to work through lunch, I'm going to work through lunch, I'm going to work. How important is it? How important is it? How important is it to get a B instead of an A? How important is it to stick to a rigid schedule so that I feel comfortable? How important is any of that? It's like we talked last week about, I was rushing to get out of the door because I want to get to my desk by a certain time. And so I decided not to rush, and I ended up getting to my desk at the same time anyway. So it's like skipping the drama. So I'm taking steps now to skip the drama. The other thing I'm doing is journaling. I'm journaling. I will not leave this week. I didn't leave the house before I journaled. So I'm getting centered. I'm getting centered in the morning before I leave.
And when you walk, do you have an A+ walk, or do you just walk normal?
Charlie, I have an A+ walk still. It's a work in progress.
Do you have
But I
that
put some
certain
really
day?
good music on, spiritual music on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I'm a
walk,
big
for
fan
sure.
of walking daily, and not walking. I wouldn't walk slow, because if somebody was on the other sidewalk or near me, they'd be like, "God, he walks slow." Of course, they don't think that. I do, though. When I see people, why are you even out walking? You're barely walking. Because if you don't do it the right way, it's got to make you struggle when you get home. You must sit there and go, "Oh, I'm such a loser. I walk, too slow." And it's like, people aren't built like that. I wish I didn't have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got down here.
By when will you take this action? I already started taking the action. So for me, it's, how am I going to keep myself accountable to that action? But by when will I take this action? I started taking it this week. So I made a commitment. It started Monday. I made a commitment on Monday to do more self-care and to really ask myself if what I'm doing is for my highest good. Is this going to help me or hurt me in this moment? How important is it?
Brenda, when we say yes to something, we say no to something. So if you have said yes to walking daily at lunch, regardless of rain, shine, or temperature. I understand if you're dressed for work, you can't go out in a
Right.
windstorm, but you're getting out there. So if you've committed, what have you said no to? The stress of eating through lunch and banging on the keyboard, right? So that's a
Yes.
good trade-off. That's a good replacement.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and this process is, you obviously, I don't mean it obviously, but I know you, and people like us is like, oh, we see, okay, I just laid it all out. Now tomorrow I'm fixing it all. And then I fail, because that's impossible. But something like this is my first plan, my first commitment that I'm putting on the calendar starting tomorrow or Monday at work, because the weekend, I know you do all your workouts, you're busy, but is that every day at lunch I'm going to walk, and I'm going to share it in my time for 10 group or whatever, just because you're going to feel so much better. So, and I would run this through like, okay, so I have this, I have a lot going on. I love it all. I'm trying to overachieve in too much of it. I'm going to make an adjustment here, right? And then, but make it so you have wins, because once you have a win, and then like you sound, I could hear you go up. Like, I've already done it, twice this week or whatever. You started, and
Yeah.
and the thing is little wins start to turn. There would become a time where, oh my gosh, I feel weird not walking at lunch.
I am going to not demand or expect myself to walk every day, because that's another overachieving thing. And I think it's important to recognize, when I make a commitment to do something, that I need to make that commitment in a different way than I've been making it, or else I'm going to end up with the same result. So I'm not even going to put a number on how many times a week I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk during lunch. I'm making a decision to be mindful about walking during lunch. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest probability, will you follow through on this action?
Just answer it.
Yes. On a scale from 1 to 10, I would give myself probably an 8.
Okay. And what would it take to get it to a 10?
An accountability buddy, really. I need an accountability buddy. You know, we've talked before on this podcast about, you know, a conditioned mind can't fix a conditioned mind. My conditioned mind is not going to fix my conditioned mind. So I need to partner with somebody. I need to be accountable to another human being, whether it's another coach from Time for a 10 or you or somebody other than myself.
Are there other people at the company?
Absolutely.
Could you ask for a walking buddy throughout the offices?
That's a great idea. And what a great example, Charlie, of conditioned thinking. I got to do it myself.
Yeah.
I'll call somebody. Why not? You're right. Why not just partner with somebody at work? There's several people there that would walk with me if I asked them to. And they have in the past.
Yeah. And I'm just curious. The thing was spinning. I'm hoping everything's okay.
I don't see any spinning.
I'm sorry?
I don't see any spinning.
Well, maybe it's just some of my old conditioning. Cool. So, thank you for that. That was great. Now I'm gonna cycle back to things, and then you can take me through this, and then we're gonna then from that point we're going to then just give different ideas on this is now you know, this will be a replay. I mean, recorded. So you could watch this and write down the questions. It's good. It's obviously you got to do it with somebody, because when we left our own self-appraisal, we'll say the problem, but then we'll say, but you know, it's not that bad. It's okay. And you know, I ice over it and I move on and pretend it'll just fix on its own, and it doesn't. So when you first of all, you speak it out to somebody, you're putting it out into the universe, but you're talking honestly to somebody. So that's a bit of accountability right there.
It is.
And then you know, it's just mine. And then, like you said, find a work buddy to go walk with, or line up I'm going to shoot a text. You know, okay, you didn't say days, but say it's 3 days a week or 3 times, not days. And, you know, walk today. That's it. That's it. You don't need to say, okay, how many steps was it? Did you do any inclines? How many calories did you burn? And don't have that cookie later. You know, just start, right?
Just do it. Just do it.
All right. So let's go back and, oh, shoot. Yeah. Hi. I love that part.
That's you playing the guitar. Hit that again.
Yeah. That was a mistake. Okay. This is probably why the system's spinning. That guy, he has not been through this process yet.
No. He's definitely not inventorying his disturbances.
Yeah, it's time for an 80 for him.
All right, come on, Charlie. I want to hear yours. Let's go. All right. What is a difficult or troubling situation in your life?
So I'm going to start with much simpler for now, and it's my wrist. It's painful. It is, it needs surgery. It's already been all proved and everything, but the difficult and troubling, 2 things. I keep putting it off, and I'm in pain. That is the difficult and troubling situation in my life.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I went the wrong way, I think. Let's see what happens. All right.
There you go. How are you creating it or allowing it to happen, Charlie?
Well, I created it it didn't happen to me. It happened because of me. I own that. I was using the push mower on a slant. Now, did I slow down? Never. But did I slow down to think you're going into a bank? Your footing is gonna get silly. The mower is gonna be off. No, I just went right into the situation, and the mower started to flip over, and it's running. So I didn't panic, but I kind of panicked. And I buckled my ankle, and I went to whip and I popped something in my wrist, and my whole wrist got warm. And this is months ago now. And it got real bad. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I went to get it checked out. So I am responsible. Because I'm rushing, I want to get the lawn done. I don't like, I am trying to, I wasn't present. Let's just leave it at that. I was cutting the lawn, but somewhere else. And
Okay.
I'm paying the price because of it.
Okay.
Please remind me to go down from now on.
Go down, Charlie. What are you pretending not to know? I love this question. What are you pretending not to know?
I'm pretending not to know that using a keyboard, it bothers me. I'm pretending not to know that I get mad at myself for not taking action and not following through. I'm pretending not to know that the truth is, I don't feel like going through the recovery part. I'm used to pain, both physical and emotional at times. Like I'm okay with it. Sadly, I spent a lot of my life suffering, and suffering became the normal. So when happy, joyous, and free started entering my life, that was uncomfortable. So pain in my body, pain is okay. Part of me thinks I deserve it at times. Like, I'm not worthy of having everything being okay in my body. So
Mm.
um and talking that out, that's ridiculous. And all I got to do is call the doctor and ow, I just squeezed it to make sure it hurt. And I can get this taken care of. So I'm pretending not to know that everything is lined up. I don't want to recover from it. I don't want to do it.
You don't want to recover from it.
I don't want the time. The guy said it's probably 6 weeks. 6 weeks? I don't have 6 weeks to not use my right hand. But
Okay.
of course I do.
What is the payoff for you for keeping it like this? Keeping it like it is.
I don't have to go through a recovery process. I don't need to go under and get surgery. So Brenda, I also tried to basically heal it through the mind. And I tried to, visualize a good wrist and all that. And it is way better. But when you're typing, I gotta pull it away. And I played a guitar and I can't play as fast. So I forgot the question.
Sure. I want to go back to the question before that, if you don't mind.
No, we don't have a rewind button.
What are you pretending not to know, Charlie? What are you really
I
pretending not to know?
I don't know. Tell me.
No, you do know. Take a
I already,
breath. There's no right answer. Go inward. What are you pretending not to know?
I'm pretending that I'm worthy, and I don't know. You've got to give me a clue, or I'm going to change slides.
Yeah, so what is the story that we tell ourselves frequently when we get into situations that are completely, out of our control? Like one of the things I would tell myself a lot is, well, it's not going to happen to me. I'm going to be all right. Despite all the evidence to support that it is actually happening to me. So what's going to happen if you don't do something about this? Charlie, the guitar player and the super tech with all his equipment around him, what's going to happen if you don't get it taken care of? What are you pretending not to know?
I'm pretending not to know that my life will get more difficult, and I will get more. It'll hurt me more.
Yeah.
By not taking the action now in the long run. I'll get mad. I'm mad at my guitar playing. I'll have a harder time. I'll have to use my left hand, which is not my dominant hand. Yeah, I hear you now. Yes.
Yeah.
I hear me.
More damage. More damage. And we do that a lot. People do that a lot, including myself, with circumstances. That's not that big of a deal. What is that denial? Don't even know I am lying. Denial.
Ain't just a river.
Okay.
We did this.
We did this one. What is the payoff for keeping it like this? What is the cost for not changing it? Here we go.
Pain, sharp pain at time. pain. I can't lift certain things. I don't work out in the morning how I want to. I do my kettlebell. And even the pain over and over doesn't get me motivated to do it again, because I realize I'm comfortable with pain.
Mm.
And so that doesn't trigger me. It's um, even when I had my shoulder done, it finally, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lift my arm. And for some reason, Brenda, I got to be kind of mangled. I got to be pretty banged up before I take action. I don't know where that comes from.
Oh my gosh, Charlie, we have to be in enough pain. How much pain do we have to be in before we change?
And Jim Rohn says people generally change for one of two reasons. We talked about it last week:
Yeah, we did.
inspiration or desperation. And this is inspiring me to get the surgery. I don't want to become desperate. I mean, I had the gift of desperation in the past, but I don't want to come from that gift anymore.
Me
I'm
either.
awake now.
Yeah. What would you rather be experiencing?
Obviously pain-free, full mobility, and one thing, just not a constant reminder every day that I need to do something about my right wrist. That's what I
Yep.
like to be experiencing, like that.
Yeah.
Ow, ow, ow.
What actions, Charlie, will you take, and what requests will you make to achieve it?
Oh, sorry. I like
How
having the power.
convenient. I want to go back a slide.
I did.
What actions will you take?
Well, you know what, Brenda? As I sit here right now, and I have my right hand over on the keyboard, it hurts doing this. And anyway, that's because of me. But what actions? I will call. I'm in May. I'm going to Florida for my daughter's birthday, and I'm going to play with a band. And I cannot, if I'm going to find out when I can get it done. But I might do it right after that. But what actions? I'm going to call the doctor's office. I'm going to do it. I was going to say tomorrow, Monday. And I'm just going to call and say, how soon can you get me in? What's the process? What's the recovery time? I'm going to get armed with the facts.
That's a great first step.
I already told you when.
Monday. Yes, you did. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest probability, will you follow through on this action?
10. I'm doing it.
Good job.
And what do I need? And I will shoot you a text letting you know I made the call, and this is the outcome of the call. It'll be short.
I would love to be your accountability buddy for this.
Okay. I just saw I change up the view, so you have to go, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So, Brenda, I just saw. All right, I was looking at the clock. Well, that's I forget. Everyone could see what I'm doing. I want you, those who are on here, think about that. What is it? A relational, that's good. Troubling, difficult situation maybe you're facing. Is it something at work, in the office? Is there a coworker that you kind of feel the hair on the back of your neck when they come around? Or is there something? Because if you run it through these questions, you can get to the truth of you. How you might be creating it or allowing it to happen. I allow that manager to come and talk over me and steal my time when I'm working. I don't say to him, listen, you see these 4 things on my whiteboard? That's what I'm already committed to. I can't have you come in and dump this new project on me. But I'm willing. Which one of these 4 can I release from this list so I can work with you? There's so many techniques, and in our coaching program and things, that's what we do. We kind of help form a plan around that difficult and troubling situation. As you heard, Brenda and I both came to our own plan. So a lot of times when you work on these difficult and troubling situations, you, through this question process, will see the problem, see an action plan, the solution, see how I am creating it or I am allowing it to happen in my life. And like Brenda was clear, I'm clear on for my wrist. And, there's eating past 8 p.m. I could do this for 3 hours with you, Brenda. I mean,
yeah.
and obviously that's why I stay on top of this stuff, because this stuff piles up. And it only, you said it earlier, for some reason eases God out, eases the power, and I start running the show. I don't slow down, I don't seek, I don't take a breath when I ask self a question. I just go, and then I wonder why people are starting to bother me back to the store. How
Right.
could you have 11 things in the 10-item checkout line? That is a difficult and troubling situation. How am I creating it? I'm focused on other people when I should be seeing where I could be of service, not what they're
Right.
doing wrong.
Right. And you said something really important, Charlie. For a number of years now, I've been doing this inventorying of disturbances, and it doesn't matter how small the disturbance is. It'll always reveal a conditioned thought pattern that you're running and acting on. So that's why it's important, even no matter how small the disturbance, that you actually do this kind of inventory on it with somebody else that can challenge your reality, like I did, bringing you back to that other slide, bringing you back to that slide and say, hey, hang on, maybe there's something more here we need to look at, and you get to look at it. And that's the way that we, number one, become aware of the conditioned thinking. And number two, we have a way to change it, because awareness is the beginning of change. With an accountability buddy, now I'm going to be asking you about it, right? Mm-hmm. So we doing it together have so much more power than just me, myself doing it. My conditioned thinking can't fix my conditioned thinking.
Yeah. If I'm clear, a self-appraisal is fine. When I feel the energy, which is an emotion in my body, starting to grasp and want me to think and act and do differently, because what makes up our personality, how we think, how we behave, and how we feel, that's the personality of a person. And you can change your personal reality by shifting how you think, how you behave, and how you feel. And that doesn't happen to you, it happens because of you. You do that. You are the responsible for that. So that A+ isn't ever going to make you feel better.
No.
It's the journey of the studying, of the handing in it, of the I'm a part of, I'm learning, I'm going to be able to use this in my practice and things like that. That's where the A+ is, not in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you miss the whole journey when you're focused on the outcome like that. Focused on the outcome. And you're right. You not being in the present moment, you miss all the beauty. You miss all the beauty of what's happening.
Yep. Well, let's bring episode number 4, difficult or troubling situation, to a close. Are you good with that?
I am good with that. I think we should spend another week on it.
Well, we could certainly. Let's see what the people that are watching this and the feedback we get, if they want to bring in, and next week I'd like to bring in a guest. I've already asked, but I haven't gotten a commitment, so I don't want to put it out there. But Brenda, we might have a guest next Friday.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it'll be exciting.
Yes, we'll have fun. We'll have fun.
We'll bring in fear or something. Well, you know what? If I'm speaking to somebody watching this, wants us to bring something to the table and hash it out, and work with it, or you have a difficult and troubling situation, you want to come in as a guest and let us bring you through it, that would be fun.
I love it.
Please let me know on one of the platforms, however, and my daughter will find that and bring it to me. But anyway, This has been fantastic. Thank you so much for your help. And I love doing this with you, Brenda.
Thank you, Charlie. It was a great podcast tonight. I enjoyed it.
And I'm ending it with, hey. Bye-bye.
Bye, Charlie.